Hey.
Hello.
Wait, what kind of podcast is this? Where do I find it?
I don't know. I think some website. We linked this at the bottom of these IGN sites. You know, like, what happened to Scarlett Johansson?
Oh, yeah.
I occasionally see the free cheese pop up. As it's like, why did they go dark?
Now, this is a Soup podcast?
Definitely. Oh my God. Yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
Soup. Talking about the best search engines. Not Bing. The best search engines.
Right.
Not Lightning.
Are we... Something's off. I can't quite put my finger on it.
No, I mean, where we usually record at. I don't think anyone's missing.
Should we ask our good pal Joe Dixon?
Joe Dixon, your thoughts? Sounds about right. Lightning sucks. Yeah. All right, we're good.
Got it. Yep.
Oh man, this is well, I think we're a gaming podcast at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But with that being said, Mark, I have a question for you.
Sure.
WrestleMania.
Okay.
How long do you think a WrestleMania event should be?
An event? Okay. I assume it has to be within a day.
Yes, it does have to be within 24 hours.
Okay. I'm gonna guess. I think at most. I think the longest, because I obviously have no idea. I'm not in the loop on this.
Yep. That's hence why I'm asking.
I could see it going between. I was about to say 5 to 8 hours, but like 5, like a good 5.
A good 5 hours. Now, let me ask this question. How long would you willingly sit through a wrestling event, even if it's like the pinnacle one of the year?
The pinnacle one? As long as I needed to.
As long, you see, and that's the true WWE answer right there. You will sit there as long as you need to, no matter how, like, bad or good or whatever, or if you're exhausted, you will sit there. And in this year's case, you will sit there for all 7.5 hours of WrestleMania action. Now, the pre-show starts at 5, but the pre-show had 4 matches on it, which then led into the main card that started at 7.
Okay, so the pre-show, it still counts as WrestleMania?
Yeah, so the pre-show is that bullshit of like, you know, well, I'm not going to say bullshit, but like, you know how like if you watch like an Orioles game or a Capitals game or whatever, and like the first hour is like, what the strategies have to be for the Caps to win, which kind of makes sense in a real world sport, but when it's wrestling, it's all fake, so it doesn't matter.
Is it though? Is it?
That is the definition of kayfabe, Mark. Oh man, we're doing all the things tonight. But yeah, so it's 2 hours of like, what does Kofi Kingston have to do to win the belt from Daniel Bryan? And it's like, well, how long can you stretch this for?
Yeah.
And it's about an hour between matches combined. And then, yeah, that leads to the main card that starts at 7. And I shit you not, I believe that final bell rang at like 12:20 or 12:30, somewhere between there.
Wow. So, I mean, that's definitely your money's worth, I presume.
I mean, it's tough to say that's even your money's worth now because the WWE, like the subscription, it's all through WWE Network now. So you just pay your $10 a month and you have your pay-per-views.
I would assume like as being like an attendee there. Like if you had tickets to it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're in the stadium or wherever it's at.
It's tough because like the biggest fans of WWE are going to be the ones that spend money to go there. And a lot of them spend WWE provides these ticket packages where it's like, hey, you can come for X amount of money and we'll fly you out, we'll put you in a hotel, and you'll see NXT TakeOver, which in this case was Friday night. We'll get you a ticket for the Hall of Fame ceremony on Saturday night.
Yeah, I saw a bit about that.
Yeah, that got a little weird this year. Sunday, of course, is WrestleMania. And then you also get tickets for the Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania because they're held in the same city, just so that way traveling is not an issue the day after WrestleMania.
Oh.
So, like, keep in mind, this is your most hardcore fan base going to the show. when they're dead during a match, it is either A, because the match is not good, which in some of the cases, when the show was a little bit quiet, the matches were decent. So that must mean that your crowd is tired, and that means you should probably shorten your show just a little bit.
Yeah, I get that's a good thing to factor in.
And then,
especially kids.
Yeah, cause John Cena's a thing, right?
I mean, they're energetic, but like only in like short spurts, I feel.
Yeah, and then like I don't know. I'm just sitting there watching it, and there are just some matches like the Kofi Kingston Daniel Bryan match will be probably one of the best matches I'll see all year. There was probably another good handful of matches that were like just interesting and fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
There was like one or two ones that just seemed to get a little slow, but they actually kind of picked up towards the end of the match at least, or there were some interesting spots in those matches.
Right.
There was not like one stinker though that like I sat through it and like wanted to fall asleep through.
That sounds good.
And that's good, but like when the crowd feeds so much energy into the wrestlers, it's just like, man, like just 2 hours shorter. It's like a 5-hour event. Started at 6 local, whatever that time is, or I guess Eastern if you want to play it that way.
Yeah.
5 hours, and then what? 6. It ends at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Perfect.
Any interesting signs in the crowd?
Not that I saw. The only I kept seeing like high people, which is dumb. I didn't see any Mother 3 confirmed or Half-Life 3 confirmed or The Lightning Sucks, which she does, but I didn't see any of that. Nah, I don't remember seeing like an interesting one. And there was even one match that was like a false count anywhere match, which means you can, pin or submit anyone. It doesn't have to be inside the ring. And they went up like into the stands, into like the like it was like the kind of a little bit up into the crowd, but the other language broadcasters like your Japanese, Korean, like that kind of like those German, Italian, like those types of announcers that the ones that aren't ringside. They even went into there and was like going through like their tables and stuff, and even went through like some like fake scaffolding.
Oh,
like as the final part, it was a fun match to watch.
Right.
But even then, it was like,
were they just like, was this different from previous ones? Like, do they usually not do stuff like that?
I mean, it was different enough where like I couldn't. There's some tropes, and I'm like, all right, well, this is gonna happen, and then now it's gonna happen, and then, you should probably watch FCW to see how I stray away from those tropes. But yeah. I don't know. It's just it was good, and it was probably one of the better ones in the last few years from what I've heard. Even though I haven't watched WrestleMania, I watched 31 a few years back with like no context at all. It was the first time I watched wrestling since I was a kid. And then of course I got back into wrestling the Royal Rumble before 34, and I watched all 34. And I would say probably 35 match wise was a little bit better, a little bit more entertaining, but I don't know. Just 7.5 hours. It's a long time for anything. I mean, you think about it, we sit here for E3. I think after like 2 press conferences, I kind of get tired.
I mean,
I'm ready to grill.
I mean, I'm fine for the whole thing, but yeah, like getting through the events that you don't care too much about, or if it's one that you were interested in and ends up not being interesting, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. And there was not even like really like a match that I was like, oh man, I really don't want to see this. Or I mean, there was maybe a match that I thought was going to be bad that had maybe a somewhat interesting build, but even that match or those matches were like at least interesting. There was a couple interesting spots that made it fun to watch.
Well, that's good. I mean, and that's a long time for wrestlers to be smelling a lot of blood, like I've been this past week.
Oh yeah,
because
tell me about the blood smell. I like a good blood smell. Have you been playing more Bloodborne? Is that what this is, or like?
I feel like I've been living it.
Oh god.
No, I was in Denver for the past week. Came back Friday night. It was for work related. There was a craft brewers conference, and yeah, that was interesting to say the least. I never been to something like that before. Most cons that I go to aren't this well built, I guess. It was carpeted everywhere, super padded floors. Just a lot of like, I'm not really that knowledgeable in the beverage world, even though my job like kind of relates to that stuff. But I was just there for like filming purposes and everything. So I mean, that was fun. Got to do some sightseeing afterwards, and we stayed at an Airbnb. That was a pretty nice house. It almost felt like a 3 to 4 story like art studio. Just how fancy everything was very fancy and like modern looking. So it was really nice. But the air is so thin there that I didn't even realize that. But like every morning I would wake up with dry blood in my nose. So like every time I blew my nose, it was just like this dark red, and I was like, oh, like I thought I had to check the bed every time I woke up, make sure there was no blood on the bed.
Yeah, okay.
I was just that worried about it. I was like, I don't know what happened. I'm not used. I thought it would go away, but every day. No, like that was. I mean, that part was fine. Did a lot of drinking for me, I guess I would say.
Like, you did go to a craft brewery.
Yeah, but afterwards, because it was like me and like some coworkers, we always had to like take an Uber or Lyft somewhere. We'd go out, have some drinks, get something to eat.
Oh yeah, that does make it a little bit easier.
Had like fancy tacos every night. Blazed it a little bit.
There, yep. I was gonna ask that, but thank you for you beating me to the question.
No, yeah. I mean, I've done it in the past before. It's just not really my thing. But I was like, whatever. I guess I'll live to the Colorado trope.
There it is.
But
420 is coming up. You better start practicing now.
Oh, it only affected me like maybe like once or whatever, like maybe twice, and I don't know. Maybe I'm either doing it wrong or I just have a tolerance.
I couldn't tell you. I've never done it.
I honestly, even though I was middle of doing it, I burned my chest, just taking a big hit, and I'm just like, why? I can't understand how people do this.
Now, did you burn your chest as in like you like burn your chest, or did you get a little heartburn like you would if you ate too much fire sauce on a Taco Bell taco? Or is it the same feeling?
It's kind of like a mixture of both. Because you have to hold in the smoke before letting it out, and then some of that smoke travels downward, and it feels like your sternum is like on fire, and water does not help that at all. It like makes it worse. I'm just like, I don't know how you guys do this, as I'm like coughing a lung out and whatever. The drinking got me more than anything. I'd rather drink than smoke, honestly. That's just me. I don't see much of a purpose.
Yeah,
but it was still fun times all around.
I think it's quite obvious here. Matt is not the bad boy at the table. I've never smoked. I don't know that feeling. I only drink.
I've never touched a cigarette though.
Good for you. I never have either.
And I think, those are way different than trying to do.
I'm like a Joe Dixon,
Yeah, he's all about the
cigs.
All about the cigs.
420 cigarettes.
Yeah. But, while I was there, I did manage to play some video games.
Check me out, I'm dancing.
How about traveling to or from destination?
So, yeah, the whole, I brought my Switch. And
that's the thing to do.
I wanted to live that, that nice good old commercial of playing Skyrim on the plane. I did not play Skyrim. I still have not played Skyrim to this day. At first, I thought that commercial was misleading because I couldn't play with the Joy-Cons detached in airplane mode.
Oh, yeah.
You have to turn on the Bluetooth option as well. And it's like, okay, they don't tell you that.
Well, once you get into the air, then they're like, all right, turn on your electronics. That's when I mean, I've never done it, but I would assume that, like,
I just kept it on the whole time. Because they never say to, like,
you kept it on. Oh, good for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've used wireless headphones, AirPods, I've Beats that are wireless, and I've used them during takeoff, just like sitting back, listening to, I don't know, I guess Miley Cyrus. Is that something you listen to on a?
Sure, it don't matter. But like on the way to Denver, so I had a migraine while we were the whole flight there.
Oh,
4-hour flight of just a headache, and I had nothing to get rid of it. And then as we were landing, it was just nausea. I felt like I just wanted to throw up. That was my first time flying since like 1995.
Oh, all right.
And I don't remember any bad stuff as a kid, probably because I fell asleep or something. I don't know. So I didn't really want to play much on the plane. Like I tried playing bits of like here and there, just whatever, just random Switch games, a little bit of Sonic Mania, a little bit of Smash or something.
I think you play literally all the wrong games for a flight, especially if you're prone to, or if you're finding out now you're prone to a little bit of like motion sickness.
Which is weird. I think it was just my body adjusting because I
True.
love roller coasters. Like I love thrill rides.
Me too.
I don't really get motion sickness unless it's like something specific, like maybe like in VR on PlayStation or something. If there's like a weird camera control.
I mean, it could happen though. I mean, I know. I'm like you. I'm good with roller coasters. I'm not good with like the spinning in the circle, like think of like teacups, something like that. But
Okay.
I do get motion sickness if I'm reading in a car. I think just the little subtle vibrations are enough to just like with me reading text and it bouncing up and down just a little bit throws me off a little bit. So I know like when I go down to DC for Caps games or whatever, I have to be careful if I do play anything that is not anything like RPG or text heavy. So I'm not getting sick.
I did resort to Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Okay.
Because I can't do Tetris 99.
Correct. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yep. I wish that had an offline mode. I guess maybe in the future, if when they do like the playing with bots and stuff. If that's
I guess it's weird that it doesn't have an offline mode for a Tetris game. I don't know. I get it, but then I don't
marathon,
get it.
You know?
Yeah,
so
but good thing you have Puyo Puyo, right?
Yep. So I just did that and cleared that. While in Denver, I found a barcade. And
all right, there you go.
Yeah, it was called One Up. It was in the Baltimore equivalent, Colfax. It's like a little rundown, little trashy.
Those are the best places, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my overall consensus with Denver is that it's a very tame place.
Yeah.
Very, very chill. A lot of art. It's really nice. It's good energy.
Low oxygen.
Exactly. But like the people, like I never felt hostile vibes being in a city in there. Like being in Denver.
As one should anywhere, but I get it.
I mean, being in Denver it's not much to be. It doesn't take much to be better than Baltimore, I feel.
No, it doesn't. Especially some of those areas.
Yeah. But I managed to find a place that reminded me of my home. And it was called Colfax.
You're doing well.
And so went in there. It's actually a pretty nice barcade for what it is. Like there's a lot of good retro machines there to keep up with like maintaining them, and they all have their own cup holders attached to them. They have a whole pinball section. Like everything was nice. It was like nicely lit, nice designs everywhere. Even behind the bar itself, they had video game themed stuff. There was a Donkey Kong cabinet behind there that had, I think it was a $1 or a $5 bill, tucked into like the corner of like the top label above the screen, and somebody wrote in a Sharpie, "Let's fuck."
Perfect. Oh my god, I'm going to Denver.
So I was like,
next week. I'm not going to be here next week.
Right. So I was like, I guess it's on like Donkey Kong. Is that the?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
But I mean, I didn't play too much there. Like it was just me and my brother were in there. We played Cruis'n USA. Of course, you know when you're versing each other, you can control the radio.
There it is.
Bluegrass Boogie.
There it is. I was gonna ask.
Did it?
Ooh, Bluegrass Boogie.
Pinball. I just did like 3 things. It was like I did Kiss, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and my favorite, Monster Bash.
Now, I haven't really been to a barcade per se, but we've been to Crabtown. Is that is like the pinball selection there, like a little bit, like half of that, or is it just equal or a little bit less?
I would say more.
Oh, all right, nice.
Yeah. So like about a quarter of Crabtown, or maybe half of it, was like one section of this barcade. Like there's a lot to walk around. Like they're just hidden everywhere. All these nooks and crannies. Plus they have skee ball in there.
Oh, all right.
And like basketball hoops.
Now, is this the size? Now, all right. So let me ask this question: is this like the size of a Dave and Buster's?
No.
All right.
I would say definitely not as tall. So yeah, it's like a very low ceiling. Width wise, I would say it's about maybe like a quarter to half.
Okay.
I don't know. It was just very long. It wasn't like, I don't know how to describe it. It's more rectangle than square.
There's enough room to fuck.
Definitely.
Perfect.
There's definitely nooks and crannies. You can find it. No, from there, I just played, I played the X-Men arcade game. Had to. That was pretty good. I played the more recent Ninja Turtles arcade game. It's I forget who makes it. I remember Dixon and I were talking about it. It was It's based off of the not current Nickelodeon show, but the CG one.
Oh yeah, okay. I never watched it, but yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah, it's based off of that style. If 4-player, it was pretty fun. I did enjoy that, but I was most excited to play Battletoads.
Okay.
I never got to play that arcade game.
Perfect.
Like, you can get it on Rare Replay, but I've always played the NES or the Super NES versions of these games. I never knew at that time that an arcade version existed, and that's the only one where you can play as all 3 Toads simultaneously, and there's blood in it. So
okay,
if your hand turns into a drill, you're drilling a rat's face in. You see that blood go everywhere. It was phenomenal.
Do you play Sekiro or like like you spraying blood everywhere or?
I mean, soon enough, I guess.
Oh man,
that's still in my queue.
We'll get there later. Don't you worry.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we didn't spend too much time there. Like, we had to leave and meet up with our other coworkers at another bar, get food and drinks. Which was perfect timing because that place was starting to get a little
rowdy,
a little weird. It was starting to remind me a little too much of home. I was like, okay, this is good time to go. Yeah, and then not much from after that until like I guess the flight back, because our flight got delayed by like 4 hours or something because of the snow we had for like a day down there. And I was like, all right, let's go whip out my Switch and play in the airport. And again, I just went through rotations of things, but then I decided to start Undertale because I figured since this is a bad situation, what better time to play this game?
You know what? I was going to say something, but I'll just leave it like that. That's perfect.
Yeah, like I was trying to go into it with like a clear mind. I didn't want like any outside stuff like thinking about that while trying it, and I still didn't get like too far. Because, I mean, I got far enough to see how the battling worked, and it is kind of, it's charming.
I have a feeling me and you played the same amount of time.
Maybe.
If you go look at my Steam page, I think I'm like around like 90 minutes. I have a feeling you
might be further than me. I'm still like I didn't get that far. Like I'm still down in the.
I think I am too.
Like the beginning catacombs or whatever.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
I wasn't too far out of there.
What's your face, like Toriel or something like that? Like she doesn't want you to leave, but like she's giving you all the tutorial stuff. I guess her name kind of makes sense now. But yeah, no, the battling I do like that. I like how you can check an enemy and they kind of tells you like about their personality a little bit. So like if you're fighting this frog and it's like this frog has a rough life. It does this much damage, has this much HP, but it has a hard time adjusting. And then you can either choose to like spare it or flee or fight it, or you can compliment it or threaten it. And it'll be like, it doesn't know what you mean, but it feels this feeling now.
Now you play this on Switch, so I know some of those like mini games to like try to tame, or you just said all the terms and I forgot them that fast. But like I know some of those mini games to like not to be a pacifist.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of them require like dodging, like a look. How does that work on Switch? Are you just using the D-pad? Is that touch base? Because it was like more.
You know, I never tried the touch screen, but I've been doing joystick the whole time.
All right, I mean that makes sense, but I feel like I was using the mouse mainly, so I didn't know that would carry over.
Ooh, you know what? I'm wondering, because there wasn't like a sensitivity thing to adjust.
Okay.
So I'm wondering how doable this is on platforms versus a mouse on PC, because I can imagine some bullet hell moments.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how I went through it. I feel like I remember like I had to use a mouse to dodge some things, but I could be totally wrong and it was a keyboard. But I never remember me using the arrows unless I was using WASD, which I don't know. It's been over. I mean, I tried playing that game well before I completed Earthbound, and that was Earthbound was. I mean, completion of Earthbound was probably close to about a year ago now. So
yeah, I still have to complete that too. I think I want to get this out of the way, and then play Earthbound.
Yeah, I do want to come back to Undertale at some point because there's been a lot of talk about what's the sequel?
Deltarune?
Not the sequel, but its spiritual successor or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, I'm curious to see what that's like.
Yeah, because I downloaded that too, and then that was free. But, But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't play too much of it, as much as I'd hoped for. But I did find it charming for like the one tutorial fight where like again like that the frog for the first time wanted to fight you, and before you even get to pick anything, like Toriel pops up in the background. She's just standing there giving like a stare at the frog, and the frog just slides off the screen, and then it just says, "Hey, you won! You get 0 gold and 0 experience." And I was like, all right, I like that.
There is,
it's cute.
From what I remember and playing Earthbound, there is definitely. I can see the relations, hence why I kind of do want to go back to Undertale now that I've completed Earthbound.
Yeah, and then for those that don't know, the creator of Undertale, I'm pretty sure that this was originally, the concept of it was based off of an Earthbound mod.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
So
Joe Dixon, yep, that sounds right.
All right, confirmed. Dixon confirmed.
I mean, this is the closest we're going to get to Mother 3. Let's just be real. So
yeah, because I mean,
it's not coming.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know a saying that means it's coming over to.
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense.
Nothing that
there's
would
no
be,
rhythm, no rhyme, nothing.
Nothing that would be on a shirt, for sure.
No.
Not at all.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so this is going to be the best you get. And then maybe Deltarune's a Mother 4. Who knows?
Maybe.
Is that all you had, Mark? Or, like...
I feel like there was one more, and for some reason, I cannot put my finger... Oh! Windjammers. I did more of that.
Speaking about putting your fingers on things, that's throwing a frisbee. What's 2 or 1? 2, I'm assuming?
1. I don't think 2's out yet.
Oh, maybe I'm an idiot. All right, well, then you disregard what I said. You play Windjammers 1. How's that?
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think we could have tournaments based around that.
So,
like, personally.
Yeah, no, I could see me really liking that game and also getting to the point where I become really frustrated, like a Rocket League or a Disc Jam, because it's pretty much those two things combined in a weird way.
The combinations of throwing the disc, I didn't realize there were so many. It's almost like fighting game inputs.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I mean, it's
but
not
that's cool at the same time.
It's not as crazy. It'd be like up and then hold diagonal and hit a button or something, and it's like. It's really not much to it. I thought it was gonna be more complicated than that, but no, I enjoy that a lot. Even the mini games, where like there's the dog throw one, where you pick a person to throw the disc, and you're the dog, and you have to avoid obstacles on the beach, like people laying in the sun and stuff. And
that's really cool.
And then you have to like jump and catch the frisbee, and that will determine your distance of how far you threw it. And it's like that's all it is. It's very short. I forget what the other one was. There was another mini game. I can't remember right now for the life of me. But no, yeah, I really enjoyed that game.
There's mini games that's fleshed out. Not Wii. I guess Wii Sports Resort. Remember there was that frisbee throwing game. There had a couple. One of them was legitimately a dog, but you didn't control the dog. You just kind of had to throw it like towards them or something like that.
No, it was just this and it was literally just that. That's how simple it is. Like as soon as you're done, it's done. And then there's the bowling one.
All right.
It's just bowling, but instead of a bowling ball, it's a frisbee.
Yep.
And that's really all it is. Which that could see another competition with that too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not too far removed from like the how far can you hit the sandbag? I forget the mini game, but in Smash, the sandbag and the bat. Like I guess it's not too far removed from that, just on a top-down view. I'm assuming, right? It's at like in terms of like a simplicity, but like hard to master level.
Concept-wise, yeah, definitely.
That's cool. I'm glad there's like a little bit more to that game than just the top-down thing.
Definitely a Friday night pizza party kind of game.
Yeah, I can see that. It reminds me like party-wise like a Nidhogg, where it's like easy enough to pick up but hard to master.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's another game I want to play more.
That's pretty much for me though.
With Windjammers, you said you played that on the plane, right? So you didn't play that online or anything like that.
Nope.
It was just is there like not like a campaign, but is there like a tournament mode or like a season mode or something like that?
Just an arcade mode.
Just so you just
it just takes you through every character.
Difficulties though, or
you can choose difficulties.
Okay.
I beat it on easy. I stopped on medium just because it was time to get on the plane. But yeah, they just take you through everybody randomly.
Yeah, I mean that's my fear of one of those games, but at the same time, that's like exactly how Rocket League is for me. Rocket League, there is a season like mode if you want to play by yourself and like be a little bit competitive, but I never play that mode, which I guess takes me to what I've been playing, and I've been playing a lot of Rocket League lately again for some reason. It started.
I mean, you love it, you know.
Xbox Game Pass was the reason why, because I got an Xbox. I was like, oh, I got a shiny new toy. What can I play that's new? Oh, Rocket League's on Game Pass. Great. I can't wait to play that. So I was playing that for a bit on Xbox. And then I haven't actually said it on air, but I've been having issues with my controller, which I still need to take care of. But I've been losing connection with my controller wirelessly and even connected through wire now. So it's not great to play Rocket League of any game, because Rocket League is very online and I need it every second. So because I've been playing my PlayStation more, I've been playing on my PlayStation.
All right.
So
Did you change your name?
No. We'll get to that later as to why I did not do that. Anyway. Yeah, I just been playing more Rocket League. Oh god, the game's so good. It's so simple yet so complex. And I'm still not like great at it, but I'm decent enough, I think.
Yeah, there's no reason for me that I'm not playing it, because I did enjoy the time that I did play it, even though I wasn't really great at it. But I think it's just because of lack of time spent with it. That's
yeah,
really
I can see that. I mean, I was there from day one where like no one knew how to play the game, that was such a fun time because no one like knew the strategies or how to like use the physics to your advantage or anything like that.
Like in a weird way, it kind of reminded me of Tetris DS.
Okay.
Because whenever I played Tetris DS and Nintendo was doing their Wi-Fi thing, all games were free online.
Oh, tell me more about this time, please.
Well, there was a point where things were free online.
Oh wait, hold on, wait. That was on the Wii U though, right?
No, DS.
Oh, yes, right. You did just say DS. Oh, yeah. So celebrate the DS, guys.
Yeah.
The DS and free online. The good times on Nintendo.
I did Tetris DS online, and whenever I versed people that were from Japan, I had my ass handed to me.
Of course.
And eventually, I stuck through it until I won a couple matches.
There you go.
With Rocket League, switched Japan with, like, Mexico.
All right.
Like, I'm not making this up. Like, every time I saw that it was from, like, somewhere like South America or Mexico or somewhere, I lost immediately. Whooped my ass. Did so many tricks I didn't even think were possible. And the physics of that game, I just didn't understand. They had it down to a T.
You know what ends up taking me out of Rocket League every time I go to it? And it's not because, like, I hit a wall or anything like that. Because even when, like, I'm losing, I'm, like, yeah, it's frustrating, but I'm still having fun playing the game because I don't know, the game just clicks with me so well, and I've said it time and time again on air here, but it's because I get reinvested back into the subreddit, and I'm watching people in the subreddit, and it just discourages the fuck out of me whenever I see all these goals. I'm like, I can never be that good because I need to change my control scheme, and when I change my control scheme, it's been a control scheme I've been using for 3 years, so like I'm trying to relearn my brain to like a brand new controller.
Oh, wow.
Every time.
And
I haven't gotten there yet this week, but I have a feeling next week I'm going to start getting there. And
just don't go to the subreddit.
But it's so hard because I want to see like the meta things. And then I see all these, look at this goal. And I'm like looking at it and I was like, oh, fuck. All right, I'm done.
Those people can probably only do that a certain way on the map too. Like they have to be at this angle with this whatever.
But the thing is, they know it.
Right.
That's the crazy, they know it.
It's almost like in a fighting game where it's like in order to pull off this string of combos, you have to do it in this exact way, or else it'll just never work.
But the pros know it, and and they can see it in 3 frames. Which, keep in mind, most fighting games now I feel like are at like 60 frames per second. So
yeah, well they can probably hear sounds that we can't even fathom because they got those magical ears, you know.
Yeah, the magical ears. Yeah. Speaking about getting your ass kicked in different places, Peru. That's where it seems like all my Dota 2 matches end up being hosted at.
That's weird.
I think so. I think Steam links up the east coast of the U.S. with some parts of South America.
Okay. Yeah.
So I feel like I'm always connecting to Peru whenever I match make.
That's so interesting.
And yeah, I've been playing Dota 2 again. And guess what? I've kind of phased off a little bit of auto chess.
Oh, man.
Now, that's not to say that I haven't played it, but I did not sink as many hours because some of those hours went back into relearning how to play Dota 2.
Which is probably good for you to keep the rust off.
Yep, and my Twitch watching as of late has not been as auto chess heavy. It has been more Dota 2 heavy.
And this is the opposite from Rocket League with you, right? If you watch stuff, it doesn't intimidate you.
Oh yeah, no. If I watch it, I just want to play it. I want to because I'm not at the 1,000-hour mark of Dota yet, and that's where I've heard that you really learn the game is at the 1,000-hour mark.
How close are you?
I'm over 300 now.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm not even halfway there yet.
Give it another, what?
3 years, okay. I think I'll get there. See, we're just building up now. We're in the summer, which means that the Battle Pass will come out soon, and then TI is around the corner, and we all know that's my favorite time of the summer. Joe, what's your thoughts on summer? That's right, Dixon. That's right. Summer's the best. So yeah, I've been playing Dota 2. Now I haven't played any ranked. I'm scared to get back into ranked after I got my ass beat, and I talked about that last week. So I've been keeping with Turbo just to play, just to get my feet wet again. I've switched how I've played though. I usually have picked the carry characters, which would be the characters that your team wants to build up to make sure they're high leveled and ahead of the curve, so that way they're the ones that carry you through a team fight and eliminate the heroes. That way you get time to eliminate objectives and push and all that stuff.
Right. So what do you do now?
I've been playing a lot more support lately.
Okay.
Specifically, I've been practicing with a character named Shadow Shaman, which he's very easy to kind of like get all his things, but I would say he's kind of a little bit hard to master, like how like the combinations of things you want to use. He has it's pretty much like he has a hex. So like he will turn you into like chicken or some kind of animal that can't do anything. It's just a comical thing, whatever animal it turns you into.
Very shaman-like.
Yeah, and it's like 2 or 3 seconds long, depending on what level you're at. He has one or he has a power that he will stun you, and he will kind of like use these like little poles, which is part of his like cosmetic.
Okay.
He will like stun you, and he'll like use these like little wires to entrap you, and like you're stunned and you can't move and you can't use anything. So if like I stun you like for 4 seconds, my team can just like
that's a lot of time.
Yeah, like it depends on what level it is, but yeah, you can do that stun, or you can even match up your stun. Your ultimate is this. He put out these like I don't know, like these ghost fire things that spit fire, and they spit them at a rapid rate. So like, and they go in a circle. So if you cast it the right way, you could cast someone in the middle of it, and you can't get out of it unless you attack these things. But if you're attacking these things, it takes a couple, or maybe like a second or two or maybe a second to a second and a half to get rid of one of them to open up the thing. But by that point, you've been hit by a lot of these fireballs, which can drain a lot of your health. But if you pair it up exactly where like you put out your ult, you stun them, and then if you need the extra second or so, you can hex them.
So basically, I'm learning that support classes are actually trolls.
I mean, this one
because like they got all the tricks.
Yeah, and it's fun. So this is it's nice to not be responsible for a team loss when that happens. And that's where support kind of comes in. Now, like I can be, but it's less frequent because it's not my fault that the carry didn't do their job. and because I'm seeing like that happen more and more, I'm starting to learn how to play carry a little bit better.
Okay.
And my favorite thing is I'm like the whole laning phase, which is of course like your opportunity to try to build gold, build levels, and try to harass your opponents to the point where like you're pulling another hero from another lane over, so that way your team can dominant lane as well.
Right.
That's just the beginning of a Dota every time.
Mm-hmm.
You're not like, I don't know, it's just like you're just trying to help that guy get as much gold and as much experience as possible. Like me, like I'm not killing creeps because I don't care about my levels really. I'm just trying to make sure he's not getting harassed, so that way he can get his experience and his gold. Me, I'll get my gold or my experience from team fights later down the road to get my items or to help later.
Right.
But I just want to make sure that he stays ahead of their carry, so that way when it comes time where the team fights and the whole switching of the lane starts to happen, he is better than the other teams.
That's support.
And that is a support character, and I'm actually I never really played it before. I mean, I played a little bit during that grid thing I did last Battle Pass, but I'm really starting to appreciate it a little bit more.
Hey, that's cool that you're still like finding out things.
Like I said, you don't learn the game until 1,000 hours in, I've heard, and I'm at hour 300. So, and you got to think like 50 of those hours are probably auto chess. So,
well, by 2022, I I hope to see a lot
And then
more.
by 2024, maybe I might be at TI, whatever when we're at that point.
Yeah. Champ.
Oh man, I could be playing a Miracle. That'd be really cool. Then I play a little bit more baseball. I finally like dived in to baseball.
Oh, you so.
I know I didn't really talk about it last week because I didn't really play it, but I started my path towards 100 hours in that every year. I didn't really mess with the franchise mode yet because I haven't found a good roster I liked yet, but I played my Road to the Show. I imported my character from 16, 17, whatever year I made him. And the disappointing thing about that is 2 years ago, he was 99 overall, max stats, everything, because there was no cap on your stats.
All right. So just a god.
Exactly. Which is, it's dumb, but it's fun, right? Whatever. In last year's game, 18, they removed those 99 caps and kind of tried to make you a more realistic player. And they said pretty much straight out, like, we don't really want the god players. We want to try to make it a more realistic simulation game because that's kind of what we go for. And that makes sense for MLB The Show.
Yeah.
Especially with how it plays. And even when you play like the retro mode, it still feels like a simulation with the way the animations are.
But there still isn't like a... They should still give you that option just to have some fun with it.
And exactly. And then that player feedback, they reverted that this year in 19. They removed the caps, which is great. However, when I brought over this player that has been previously a max 99 player that was shot down to whatever, like he's still a 99 overall, but he doesn't have like 99 contact or 99 like speed or anymore. It's brought down to like 80s or whatever. It did not go back up to 99. So I'm kind of having to retrain my player to be 99 overall, which is now kind of tough because I'm in the year, I think, 2024, and my character is not in his like prime anymore. He's in the latter half of his career where your stats are supposed to kind of decline some.
And then this is all because you transferred from last year.
Correct.
Does that save over your previous games? Or because can you transfer from 16 or 17 right up to...
No, I do have to come from 17 to 18, and like it specifically says like only last year's game. It doesn't.
That makes
skip
sense.
A year. So I'm a little. It's not to say that my guy's not still like great at baseball. He's still hitting like over like 450, which is like godlike numbers in baseball. But it's just a little frustrating that like I once had the 99 overall character, and because the developer decided they didn't want it for 1 year, and then they reverted on it because of player feedback, but now I don't have the 99 overall character.
And is that something you can get back?
I mean, I can get it back, but like I said, I'm having to retrain my character again,
and that just takes time.
It takes time, but also it does take into account your age. So like if you're 35 years old, like I know that doesn't sound old, but you're technically on the back half of your career and your stats are technically declining. The game takes that into account, so like the progress at which you increase your stats slows tremendously.
Oh.
And I'm at that point now with this character.
Just take some drugs, you know?
I mean, I could buy, like, I always call that steroids. Like, I could buy, like, training points or whatever to boost my character, but like, then what's the fucking point? Like, whatever. So, yeah, like, it's a small disappointment, but I like the changes they did to Road to the Show this year. They've added this character, like, tree thing with, like, traits. And depending on how you are or how you act with your teammates, like you could be be a leader role and get these captain traits, and that impact the entire team around you. Or you could be like they call it a maverick and like only care about yourself and like make these decisions that like it's all about you, or you're very egotistical and you get these awesome traits for yourself, but it doesn't help your teammates at all.
Is that what you did?
I'm a mix. Okay. I kind of like depend on the
situation.
You have your
days.
Yeah. Depends if I'm coming off a win or a loss. I like to trash my teammates or whatever.
Now, is your created character, is it based off of you, or is it somebody originally that you just made up? Or
no, I usually go with the Matty Ice. persona in the sports games, and in this game they let you like a lot of games now they do the audio first name and last name. My name on the for the announcer is Matt Franchise, which means that
Matt Franchise.
Yep, I am. There's no ice, and I couldn't find an ice, so I had to go with franchise, which means that I'm the stud of the franchise. And I did it in appropriate fashion. I came up through the draft. I went through these teams. I won the World Series, I want to say twice, but at least once with the Diamondbacks. I hit free agency, and then I sucked up all the Orioles' money to put into me. So we have a sub. It's the perfect storm of the Orioles spent all their money on this one player, but have no. Ooh, God, that was bad. That's my water. I did not spill anything.
Cut off. Too much water.
Yep, too much water. And there was a beer here, but that did not spill. Yeah, no, I sucked up all the Orioles resources into my players that way they can't spend money anywhere else, and we have a 500 average team, and It's great. It's real life. It's real life at its finest.
It's pretty good. Have a little role playing.
Yeah, then I'm not gonna get too much further into it, but I started playing online. The whole the fake trading card, you collect your MLB cards and you use them as you put them into the field and do all that. I kind of put myself at a disadvantage this year because I forgot what day the game came out. I thought it was supposed to come out on a Thursday, and it came out on the Tuesday before that Thursday.
Oh.
And I missed the pre-order window, which would have got me X amount of packs or whatever for free.
They don't. Oh, I guess they don't give you that
because I didn't pre-order
later
it.
Down the line at some point.
And that's fine, whatever. It would take me a couple, a few dozen games to get me caught back up. But that's not the end of the world.
Maybe someone subreddit has a code.
It's not the end of the world. I don't care that much. Also, if you play the market right, you can get those cards. It's fine. It was just weird because I'm used to having a better team at the low rank, and I don't have that better team, so I had to do a little tedious grinding to get some of those free stubs to buy those packs or those players or whatever in the marketplace. But the main event for me, I know I've been going off here, but the main event, that goddamn Sekiro game from Software. Holy balls, that's a good game.
All right, so how far are we in this?
If you want to, I don't know if you want to talk over the air about the spoilers, but I've also been watching a little bit of this on Twitch, so I know some boss fights down the road and stuff. I just couldn't stop. I got to this point where I just got so invested in this game, I just wanted to keep watching it, even when I wasn't playing it, even when I got frustrated with it. It's so good. There was a boss fight. Someone at work told me, and he counted the number of times. He said he lost to them 42 times in a row.
Wow.
I lost to them, I want to say 20 before I finally beat them. And it wasn't even me doing it 20 times straight either, because I didn't have, I couldn't do it after 5 times in a row. I couldn't keep going back. And that is what I want to talk about. Remember how last week or 2 weeks ago I was saying I only have this way or this way to go, and I feel like I'm getting trapped because I'm both locked out by boss fights. I don't know where to go anymore.
Wow,
I feel now I'm not stuck. I'm just I could go left or I could go right. I could go down the middle.
You found more ways.
I could go past this hard ass boss if I had the balls to try to beat him. I could run past said boss and try to find a secret thing. I found this Shinobi Way little dungeon tunnel thing that points me to a hard ass boss as well.
Huh.
And it's great because now if I get stuck in one spot, I just go the other way and see where it takes me. And if it's a bad spot, I'm well, I'd rather face the other thing I ran into earlier. And then if that still is not working, I'm well, I'll go this way now.
I'm still wondering if you found the thing I keep wanting you to find.
I don't know. Does it involve nighttime?
No.
All right. Then maybe I have.
It involves an animal.
I found some apes. Not the ape, though. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I know a couple boss fights down the road, but I have not seen that one in particular.
Okay.
Now, I did find this weird fucking dream state, and I'm going to talk about it on air. I won't say how you got there or how you get there, but there is this weird boss fight that involves 4 monkeys in a dream state. And as you start to kill the 4 monkeys, they don't attack you. What they do is, as you start to kill them, they'll start sending ghost monkeys after you. And if the ghost monkeys attack you, they'll deal damage, but they also inflict that terror thing that I've talked about in the past.
Shit.
So, like, if you get swarmed, they'll just inflict terror even if you're blocking them, and then you're just straight up die. And I beat the boss fight, but it's just the weirdest thing I think I've ever seen in a From Software game and of what I've been exposed. And that includes Bloodborne.
Did they give you a net to catch them?
No, no.
Oh.
Nope, just gave me a sword and I sprayed their blood all over the place. Yeah.
No escape.
It was weird. And that also points me to the next thing I want to talk about this. The story, I have to say, at least I know some character names, unlike Bloodborne. Yeah. Like, Bloodborne, I don't even know. Like, I get it. I want to end the nightmare. Sure. Mm. But then, like, I had no context kind of to that point without watching, like, hour-long YouTube videos after the point. And I have a feeling this game is going to do that Bloodborne thing. And I don't want to get too much into it because I don't know if you know the endings or how to get said endings.
I do not.
How to get said endings in Bloodborne. It is the most obtuse thing in the world that you would probably never guess without reading ahead or reading like
crouch at a wall for
a wiki.
A couple seconds.
Not that obtuse. If you really want deep into the lore, I guess it makes sense. But for someone that's just kind of playing and running around,
right?
I would have never guessed it. I don't know if Joe Dixon would have ever guessed it.
Right.
I just have this feeling that Sekiro is going to do the same thing, and I'm just going to beat it. And then I guess my New Game Plus is going to be me actually reading how to get some of the stuff I want to get.
I hope it's not that obtuse because it seems like this time around they want to focus on, character-driven narrative.
And there's definitely
more single-player type feel.
Yeah, and there's definitely characters that I definitely know the name to, and if another character talks about them, I'm like, oh yeah, that's that guy. I mean, I didn't get very far in Demon Souls, but I know I never came across it in that 5 hours I played of it. I feel like Bloodborne, at this point I could connect dots, but I don't know how much of that I knew when playing the game.
I've known is from people telling me.
As opposed to after I beat the game, just wanting to know what is this world? What is going on? And me watching these YouTube videos and these not fan fiction, but these fan theories of what's going on.
All I asked before to a friend was, why is it called this? Why is it called Bloodborne? And once they explain, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
Yeah. So I don't know how this game's gonna end up going. I don't even know if I'm gonna see all the places in this game, and that's a very easy thing to do in Bloodborne. I can think of one area specifically that unless you know specifically what to do to get there, you won't get there your first time through at least.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, my luck, I'll probably screw myself out of another situation.
You can't get locked out from it. It's just you have to do a very specific thing that unless you ran into it by accident, once again, it's one of those things where as you're playing it, you wouldn't know, I don't think, how to do it.
Was that your case by accident or
no? Bloodborne was a game I read ahead and it was asking Joe about and stuff like that because the game was fucking hard enough. I didn't want to
right.
So this game I want to try to get that true From Software launch experience where no one knew what was going on, and we're a little bit past that now. There's been people that have beat it time and time again. I've already seen on Twitch people are trying to do no hit speed runs and stuff like that. It's fucking ridiculous, but it was kind of nice, at least that initial first couple weeks, just trying to explore Ashina and all its shit around it and just getting lost and what the fuck is going I actually stumbled upon that dream world accidentally.
Oh, okay.
But because I did a couple of specific story things, I don't know if I had to do them in specific order, if I accidentally if it was easy enough, if I accidentally ran into it. There's just so many weird character decisions or things you can give them to impact the story. I just don't know if it's filling me in more or if it's one of those things that's going to impact endings, because I know there are endings plural to this game.
And I guess you wouldn't know for sure either, or you might, depending on what you do in the game, that might affect all of your fights. Maybe a boss fight might be a little different had you had done something else, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know if the actual mechanic of the boss fight would change. However, if I went a different route, I could definitely see me like not having a prosthetic or an item that would help me tremendously to get through a boss fight. Because there's been many boss fights I've run into where I'm like right away I knew what to use to kind of not spam it, but like definitely help me out. And if I not have gone that optional like weird way to find it, I would have been stuck for a while trying to beat them. Dang. Yeah,
it sounds really good. Like I haven't like
it's just the combat, man. It's so satisfying just to spray someone's blood across the camera, or not on the camera lens per se, but just just across the screen.
That's always been kind of like a pet peeve of mine. I don't know why. When it comes to like, I guess more specifically with movies, whenever there's like water or blood and happens to splatter on the screen, I'm like, you just implied there's a camera there now, and that like ruins the magic for me for some reason. I know
you're like you were talking about Undertale earlier, and like the whole I know like the pacifist run is a very real thing in that game, and not easy to do, but it's very possible.
They make it seem like that's the way they want you to go.
Exactly. Like the entire time we're talking about that, I just think of Sekiro and me spraying this gecko's or lizard's blood all over the place, and it's like, yeah, I'd rather do that than do a little mini game, try to dodge little rocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got, I think. Yeah, that seems about right.
Well, it seems like progress for you all around.
Yeah, I've gotten into some weirder spots of Ashina, which is cool. I don't think I've gotten to the weirdest spots, but I've seen some centipedes, so that's a lot of fun.
Oh, just your type.
Yep. Both human form and real form. So there's a boss fight with the human form one. I beat it second try.
Butts to mouth centipede?
No, not that kind. Sorry, I totally forgot about that. Sorry for ruining.
That's not good kind.
It was weird, kind of like a Wolverine thing going on. Anyway, go find that one and Mount. I remember the mountain near the Senpu Temple. Go ahead and search around there. You'll find it.
Ooh.
I guess this is that time where we take a break. Joe. Dixon says yes. Yeah, we got some news.
Yeah.
Some changes may be happening. News. It is that time. There's more than I thought there was when we were putting this list together. Yeah, let's start it off. The thing I hate paying for on Nintendo is being investigated by the United Kingdom, the UK.
Ooh.
They're investigating some multiplayer practices, specifically those about paying for a multiplayer. Now, I know as much as I bitch and complain about doing it for Nintendo, I spend $120 a year for Xbox and Sony. Yeah, specifically, they've seen some red flags and some complaints from consumers about the auto renewal being kind of turned on automatically, which that's a thing, and that's something I've been hit with, and I know Joe Dixon over here has been hit with like Amazon Prime,
and price changes usually going up.
Yeah, of course they're always going up,
and like they were saying, you're never guaranteed like the same type of quality either, because they take away things.
Correct, and then you never get refunded for when things go down, for a day, because technically, that's X amount of dollars per month that you don't have access to.
Amazon, thankfully, they just, I'm not sure if they just added this option or if they've had it for a while, but I remember I had to cancel my Prime for like a month or two, and it was in the middle, like I think it just started a month or something like that. Either way, it asked if I wanted a refund. And like, I can't remember like if I wanted it immediately or after some time. And I think there was like a bonus if you waited or something, whatever. But I was like, no, just immediately, please, like money back. So,
yeah,
I mean, that was pretty cool.
I mean, I think Microsoft has some different practices than Sony, but I know this is coming off fresh of last week when we were talking about Sony and them doing the refunds,
right?
Them doing that stuff. And that's something I've experienced with them as well. But I think that's unrelated. I think that's just a weird coincidence, in my opinion.
Maybe.
I mean,
They're just trying to cover their ass at this point.
yeah, and I know, like, even the article that we, I forget where we got it from now. I'm going to pull that up because I'm a man who knows their sources. Stalling for time. This is what happens when Joe Dix is not here.
I believe it was Pornhub.
Yep, you got it. Not Engadget at all. It was definitely Pornhub. Yep, that Pornhub article said that even the Amazon Prime Nintendo deal has an automatic renewal that I myself noticed and immediately turned off. And then it's making me redo the Twitch Prime thing 3 months from now to get the 9 months, which I'm going to more than believe that it's going to also turn back on my auto renewal. So
yeah, that's just sketchy.
That's weird. I mean, but any subscription does that. I know, like,
but the default should be off.
It should in practice, but it's not.
And also, another default should be dark mode on.
Don't even get me started, because my next example of like a free trial that keeps auto renewal on was Apple Music, and they don't have dark mode in their iOS. Anyway, moving on, Valhalla. Game we talked about actually a little bit more than probably most people have on this podcast, coming to console, but not all the consoles, Switch and PS4 on May 2nd. This is when I insert my comment that I look at that all the time on Steam and never boot it.
Yeah. I mean,
hold on, sorry, we haven't done this yet.
For this game we have. I played this.
But today.
Oh, yeah?
I've never done it. I've never done it. I've never been called to action for it.
Oh, well, there you go.
This felt good.
Hey, I never will.
So one day.
No, like, it is enjoyable. I do like it. It's definitely a more visual novel than anything, but it adds, you're working at her job, which is being a bartender, and it tells you how to make drinks. It's pretty cool. That's where all the conversations happen. Very interesting things. The thing that I always thought it would benefit from is touch controls.
Switch?
Yes, exactly. So I'm glad that it's coming to Switch specifically for that reason, because to make the drinks, I don't feel like clicking everything for however ingredients I want to make. I just want to just drag it. Make them faster.
That is a game I see me playing on Switch instead of my computer. Because whenever I sit down on my computer, I always want to launch my Dota 2 client. And it's going to be real here. Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't talk about it during Now Playing because I technically didn't play it, but I bought Final Fantasy VII as well on Switch, and I'm waiting to start it. I'm waiting for a good timer. I'm sitting down on the couch to try to grind through that first hour or two, and then the next hour or two, and to the point where I've gotten for the last 8 times I've tried to play that game.
Some E3 when they show it again. They'll bring the hype back.
I wonder. I didn't even boot it to see, and I was curious. The PS4 port has the reveal trailer from E3.
It does?
Oh, yeah. It's right on the main menu. It's like new game, continue, credits, and I think like
you're wondering if it's still there?
I'm curious to see if it's on the Switch version.
They probably didn't.
And I forgot to ask Joe.
They probably didn't. You know what? If it is there, they probably didn't even update that game when porting it.
So they didn't. And we're getting a little off topic now, but they didn't. It's a straight off the PS4, or it's a build off the PS4 build, or port. What am I saying? It is a port off a build for the PS4 port because it had the same glitch about the music constantly restarting every time out of the battle.
I remember hearing about that. And,
and it was patched, but the Switch version got that now.
Yeah, and 9 is the iOS version because when you're putting in your name, it says no emojis.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, come on, just...
Yep. So,
right.
I'm curious. It's right there.
You can do it. You can do it.
I'll think about it. Sigil. Yeah, Doom game. That's not a Doom game. That's a follow-up to a Doom game.
It's totally a Doom game. We just can't legally call it a Doom game.
Oh, there's so many things I want to say right now, but we can't legally say them just like this. I think this is really cool. So George Romero tweeted that what was his tweet exactly? Where I have it here. He said, update, and this was on April 7, 2019. Due to a delay in physical production of some of Sigil's pieces, bandboxes will ship in the first week of May. The free Megawatt will be made available 1 week after fan boxes begin shipping, so paying customers can play Sigil first.
That's respectable.
That's really cool. I feel like we don't... I mean, I'm sure that's the case for a lot of Kickstarters.
I was about to say that, yep.
But
exactly.
that is... The ones we hear about aren't the case. So...
And it's like, it's even worse on Kickstarter. I mean, that was just a delay by what? How long?
It's supposed to come out in February, I believe.
Okay. All right, that's not
And
too
I don't
bad.
know. And I don't know if we're just hearing about this now or there's been some updates along the way. But
Right. I mean, I'm sure he had somewhere he was updating, probably on his main website or Twitter.
and
But,
I believe that like a digital only like release, kind of last second, because you don't know how small this team is, and they're
mhm.
and I know as someone that I've been part of like bigger projects, and you kind of forget about the smaller details. Like I can see them easily forgetting, like, oh shit, we need to order physical pieces, and them getting delayed because of a manufacturing effect or
Yeah, that always
error or whatever.
It's so weird how like.
And
how
I know
that
you
affects everything.
probably deal with that more than me even.
I've kickstarted things a lot back then, and that's how I learned the hard way that you always don't get everything that is announced when they're doing their Kickstarter stuff. You don't always get everything.
Or you sometimes don't even get a game, or
Yeah.
sometimes you get a shitty game.
I remember way back when like Minecraft was still new, I supported 2-Player Productions documentary on it. So I backed that, and there was all this physical stuff they were adding to it. You get these little wind-up creeper toy, you get some lithographs, poster or something. All this stuff didn't arrive maybe a year after the documentary was already out for free online. Everybody, like, I was just,
So like
okay.
what you pay for, it wasn't even like you could have gotten it for free if you just waited.
I mean, I could have watched the documentary, sure, but like all that extra stuff I did want, and I did end up getting, but just it took way longer than I thought.
Yeah, well,
I guess because they had so many backers for it because it was Minecraft and everybody was snorting that like coke. But yeah, that's just something to factor.
yeah. I mean, what's that Castlevania fucking game that?
Bloodstain?
Yep, that one. That's
Yeah.
the perfect example. And also, Mighty Number 9 is a bad example of everything. So,
But good for George Romero too.
yeah,
that.
I appreciate him coming out and saying this, and I also respect the hell out of him for letting the people that paid first get first access to this game.
Also, just making a free thing.
And it's Doom. It's
Yeah.
fucking Doom. And I know the two people we're missing here would appreciate that. It's Doom.
Yeah.
It's more Doom. If you have it, great. If not, get it. Why aren't you playing? Or why have you never played Doom?
Yeah.
If you're not playing Doom, at least play Wolfenstein. I'd play. It's fucking it. Just play something. Not Rage 1, according to Marc.
No. No.
Speaking about Rage, where you played it at Xbox, Inside Xbox is going to have a thing on April 16th.
Mm-hmm. They're inside Xbox.
I didn't want to say the next thing. You can
Okay.
read it. You can
Okay.
read it. It's,
Okay.
on my iPad.
Okay.
right
Okay. So for Inside Xbox coming up on April 16th, they're going to be highlighting a couple things, going more in depth about starting with Sea of Thieves new content.
Boo.
That's just why Matt handed it to me.
Boo.
And there's going to be a Gears Pro Circuit. So yeah, they're in esports. That's. I mean, okay.
Sure.
I've seen competitive Gear stuff before, like when it first.
I didn't
came
realize
out.
they had that big of a multiplayer following even.
Yeah,
God, I
it's-
can't talk. What happened after break? I was doing so good for the first
You
hour.
got hit with that big bang, boy.
Oh, fuck.
Leaves you dancing. They're gonna be showing off some I guess in-depth coverage with Rage 2 gameplay.
I can't wait. I'm ready to party hard, or I'm ready to die.
Mm-hmm.
What other NGWK song can I think?
Someone party. I don't know. It's time to party. And finally, and outside of the usual of Game Pass reveals and whatnot, there's going to be an exclusive look at Warhammer Chaos Bane.
What's Warhammer Chaos?
I don't know too much
Bane.
about it,
Okay.
but from judging from the video, it looked like a dungeon crawler.
Okay.
And if that's the case, I'm so down for it.
Just like your traditional third-person dungeon crawler, first-person?
It
or...
looked like Diablo.
Okay.
But
okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
It looked more
that makes
like-
sense. No, what you said was
Yeah.
right. I'm a dumbass.
No, because there is the first-person dungeon crawlers. They are called. That's the OG.
Yeah, and that's like called Elder Scrolls, and now that's got a tainted name because of Bethesda. So,
Yeah.
and
Well-
Blades, from what I've heard of that game. Yeah, I've never played a Warhammer game.
They're all different.
I know, and that's what's crazy. I've never played one of them, and
I've
of
always
course,
liked that world.
Yeah,
I like big space marines, big ass armor, chainsaw swords, rocket launchers, whatever. Like go crazy.
Vermintide is something that's right up my alley.
Oh wait a minute, I'm getting Warhammer 40K mixed up. That's Space Marines.
Yeah,
Warhammer is
mm-hmm.
It. I don't know if Chaos
But
Band's
that
a
just
40K though. Ooh. I
But
didn't
that's
look
the
at it
thing,
hard
like
enough.
that franchise is so expansive that like there's something for everyone out there if you're just looking for it.
Yeah.
And Vermintide is definitely like that Left 4 Dead formula, which
Dude, Game Pass.
I know, and it's on Game Pass, which is crazy.
From what I played, I enjoy it. But yeah, it's Left 4 Dead as fuck.
From what you've told me, you're the only one I know that's playing it, and the trailers I've watched, it looks like something I could click with, minus the spiders and the bugs. But I'm trying my best to get rid of that fear.
It's mostly rats.
I can deal with rats, I think.
Giant mutant rats.
I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, things my size, besides a spider, I think I can deal with, and probably a centipede.
Dude, it's just bugs have weird fucking legs. That's what.
They move fast.
Yeah. And they just have too many of everything.
Yeah.
Too many eyes, too many legs, too many opinions.
Opinions, definitely.
Yeah.
Speaking of opinions and Jim Bryan's opinions, Sony, I can't believe I'm the one is announcing those on the podcast of all I can't, of all the weeks for this to finally happen. It's this one. Sony and PSN, they are letting you do name changes.
Oh, is there any stipulations with that?
I am too scared to find out.
I think one of us here has changed their name.
Mr. Dixon has, but he has not told us, and he refuses to tell us, as you can tell. He's been very quiet.
Yeah.
Fucker. So we don't know what all the consequences are, but I know earlier in the week when we were talking about this in our group chat, he was saying like Bloodborne trophy progress may be affected, and that scared me. And
Yeah,
I think that
you have a plat.
I worked hard for that platinum
Yeah.
too, and as I play Sekiro more, that might be the next one for me because it's so good.
Yeah, that's on PlayStation that you're playing on.
Mm-hmm. Of
Okay.
course it is. So it's finally a thing. The first one is free. Is there a time limit on the first one being free? I don't
think it's a time limit. I think it's just a first time thing.
It should be the case. You've waited, X amount of years to do that. Yeah, I'm not opposed to doing it. I want to see if there's a fire that happens. And I have to say, PSN's been working, which was my main concern, was PSN not working at all.
I'm definitely going to do it because I don't play it much, so I don't have much to lose. So that's true. I have a very low risk for doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want to there are those weird times where I do want to hop into an old ass multiplayer shooter just to see if there's a community there still and just play a ground of team deathmatch. And I'm speaking specifically of a COD game, I think, off the top of my head, or a Battlefield 4.
Sure.
I mean, because not too long ago, me and Nick were playing Battlefield 4, and God, 3 Battlefields have come out since then. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm hesitant. I want to see what games are supported, which ones aren't. If
maybe there's a whole subreddit for that.
I'm sure there is. I don't feel like looking for it right now. I've lasted this long with SX Knights 25 that I'm not in a hurry to change it to Matty Ice 131 or Matty Bow 131 or whatever. It'll be fine. Jumping back to Xbox where you can change your names and it's no problem at all. Human Fall Flat, which is on Game Pass, is getting a big update on April 16th.
Yeah, Human Fall Flat Dark.
Dark mode coming. Dark mode
basically dark mode. You get some nice cosmetics. Everything looks all like spooky. You can be a mummy or skeleton or something.
We like spooky, especially when it's not in October.
I can't remember if there was a new level or not, but if there is, I assume it would be spooky themed.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That is the one we did play that night, right? Human Fall Flat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. With the hard climbing.
Yeah, but once you got it, you got it. That was, God, that's one of those games where, how late was it? It was like 2 o'clock. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that when we started it.
Yeah.
Or like 1 o'clock. And it was like, what at that time, I was like, why are we playing a new game? Let's just like sign off or play one more crime. It was that night we played Payday.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do like 2 more missions of Payday and go to bed. Why are we starting a brand new game? And like once I got it, I was having time of my life.
Yeah.
Between the dumbass catapult, us trying to do like the whole. It was us trying to use this like weird wooden hook and like swinging across.
Oh
and
yeah,
hitting
yeah.
Yeah, like going across the water.
Yeah, the whole castle level was something.
Yeah, that was just a lot of fun, and I'm curious to see what this looks like. I'm more than willing and happy to go back into that.
Yeah, definitely
into that game. It's just dumb fun. I don't think I could ever play that by myself. I think I need like you and Marc making dumb puns along the way. But if you're there, Marc, sign me up.
Definitely.
I just like doing it now.
Just
TM
trademark, baby.
Sad news. Light your candles.
But
we knew this was going to come. Deep down inside, we knew this was going to come, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I didn't know it was going to be for this reason, but yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Rogowski, the Quiz Daddy himself.
Quiz Khalifa.
He is leaving HQ, and he is leaving abruptly. No last game, no nothing. He is gone at the time of this going up. And he's starting his own baseball thing, ironically enough. That's so weird. I did not know he was into baseball as much.
Yeah, it seemed like a trivia thing still, but baseball.
Sure, I'll play that when that comes out. It's called H Baseball. I've gone
BBQ.
I've gone back and forth between playing this game sometimes and not. I actually did play it the other day, ironically enough. Like I think the day before this was announced because they had like a video game trivia night. It popped up.
I played like around Christmas. That was the last time I played.
Yeah, me and you were actually playing it like right as we were recording Game of the Year, which got that push for good reason.
Yeah. Good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like every time I've played HQ in that time, I've never really seen Scott, so I'm not shocked that this is happening.
Yeah, because I know he's been touring a lot. I know he's more of like a comedian. So, like that's his main background. I feel, or at least that's his strongest. So, yeah, I mean, I guess he's about to mix that with his other strong background, which is his baseball trivia.
Good for him.
I think it's called Change Up.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Without me going to look, and I'm really looking. Yeah, he had a very heartfelt send-off on Twitter. It was like a 5-message long tweet and then like subtweets after that. Just thanking everyone that started. You know, he was just talking about how just such a small team developed HQ to what it was today. And he thanked specifically like at a lot of people on Twitter. And he said that he's so thankful and so happy he was there to watch the view, like the people playing go from 2 to 2 commas worth of people. So
yeah,
and that's HQ is just a weird story in itself, and how that just blew up to what it was. It's still popular. Like it's probably not as heyday anymore, but there is
I'm
definitely
how much will drop
playing.
off though.
You see, and that's the thing. I don't know
because I'm not going back.
Oh, I play every now and then.
Like if I do it, okay, so I'll make the exception that I will with a group of people, but just for my own time, I just don't find myself gravitating to it.
It depends on the category. So I get push notifications every night, like depending on what category.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they did The Office or a Parks and Rec, or like the other night they did a video game one, I'll do it. Like I don't care.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, like they're just doing like music or whatever. Like I'm not big into music, so I'm not gonna do a music one, or I'm not just gonna randomly like play. I'm not looking. Yeah, I'm not looking at my clock anymore.
Yeah, like
saying, it's 9 o'clock, time for HQ anymore, like I did when it first came out. But, God, first of all, in that Christmas party I had 2 years ago, when like that corner of the room paused the Christmas party because HQ was starting, and that's how big it was when it first launched that winter. Yeah,
it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, like I said, it still has a following. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I knew this was going to happen. I just didn't think it was going to happen now.
I bet you he'll come back as a guest.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Some like anniversary thing.
Yeah, 5 years. The 5-year anniversary from the first episode. Yep. He'll be the host. You heard it here first. Breaking news from the Free Cheese podcast. A Matt favorite. Joe... he did this the other day. He did that Matt checkmark thing. I'm going to do that for me now. Horizon Zero Dawn. Evidently from voice actor Janina Gavankar. I'm going to assume I'm saying that right. Probably not. But we're getting a sequel, which I think we knew was going to happen anyway. But she maybe kind of confirmed it. I did not play the DLC she voiced the character in. Ironically enough, for as much as I played that game, but
and here I thought you played all of it.
I did not. I do have a platinum though in the main game, but yeah, no surprise there, right?
I mean, no. I mean that's you.
I mean, I love the game.
Yeah.
Other people love the game. It sold very well. It's a brand new franchise. Sony's looking for new franchises. So.
I mean, definitely figured a sequel would be coming.
Yeah.
But not like this. I didn't think it was gonna be. See, I'm wondering if this actress isn't.
Oh, she fucked up. I know she.
I mean, that's what I'm wondering. Like, I'm wondering if her character is even in the sequel. Because if not, she has nothing to lose, really. If she talks about it, like she has no NDA or anything. But I don't know.
Yeah, but like, if she wasn't in the sequel, why would she know, right?
I mean, she just might have connections. I don't know.
I mean, she could have connections, but I feel like, I don't know. But like, you sign your connections sign an NDA too, and they're at risk if they tell you, you know.
But
and I feel like everyone that's an actor or actress has some kind of professionalism where they, you know.
Yeah.
And there's some kind of respect to that too. You're not like prying your friend, like, oh, what are you working on, right?
True.
So.
I mean, Sony exclusive, right?
Sony exclusive.
So yeah, they would definitely benefit from a sequel, especially for a game like this.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, maybe PS4, maybe PS5, maybe we'll find out this E3. Who knows?
But Sony won't be there.
That's the joke.
But no,
Marc,
they have
along.
But they have a game now. They can come back. Come on back, Sony, for like 5 minutes, and then fuck off again. It's probably no.
I'm gonna skip this kind of bigger story for right now. I'm gonna go to Respawn co-founder Jason West is probably now developing Fortnite.
Oh no! Why would you say that?
Probably because any game that is being developed by Epic Games is being canceled, so that way they can work on Fortnite. So I can't imagine him being hired for another game.
Rip.
Unreal Tournament.
Yeah.
Paragon, which would be up my alley, MOBA.
Dude, if Respawn, I mean, he's coming from Respawn, but that experience, that knowledge, if that went into an Unreal Tournament game, boy howdy, because that game was all about moving around.
Imagine what it's like running around in that Source Titanfall engine in an Unreal Tournament setting.
Oh my god.
Yep, I know. I can think of all the things now, but he's just going to put that into Fortnite, the multiplayer, not even the single player.
That's just, I don't know why it's called Epic Games anymore.
It's Fortnite games.
Yeah. It's just screaming.
It's funny that, so I recently, all the Microsoft problems were happening to me in the last 2 weeks that I refused to talk about on the podcast because I didn't want to frustrate myself. But towards the end, my computer ran into some weird software issues, and I started not being able to launch things. And I started with OneDrive, which is actually part of the operating system. So I kept getting an error message every like 40 minutes, which was annoying as all hell. And it would boot me out of games to give me the error message. Not like boot me out, but it would like alt-tab me out. And then at the end there, Battle.net wouldn't open, Steam wouldn't open, and Origin wouldn't open. But the last one that remained was Epic. And when I found out that Fortnite was the only game I could play on my PC, I restored it.
Oh my god. Of course.
So
Go figure.
thank you, Jason West, for making the only game that I could have played on my PC come 5 days ago.
Nice.
But a launcher that I did not have on my PC that I have again now, because I forgot it has a launcher now, is Twitch. That's right. Twitch has its own launcher because
Does it really?
Yep, because of Twitch Prime having their own free games and stuff.
Oh. Yeah, see, I never took advantage of the game stuff.
Yeah, so because of my sister having Amazon Prime and because of like family sharing, whatever they call it on Amazon's end, I can use her subscription for a Twitch Prime, which I do. And yeah, so with Twitch Prime, you get periodically like free loot in games, free costumes, whatever. There was that month where they had like every 5 days had a free game. Because of that, I don't know, that was the main reason for having the Twitch launcher, but yeah, there is a Twitch launcher. And I'm assuming that this brand new game, Twitch Sings, is going to be on there. And Mark, that is a karaoke game.
It is.
And I feel like that is something that might be up your alley. And before you shit on it, I'm going to have to say that Harmonix worked on it.
No shit. No shit from me.
And that's what I'm kind of thinking after I read that Harmonix was on it, because I was about to shit all over this on this podcast.
Yeah, like, given the images that I've been seeing, it's not something I would that would entice me. But then I realized that you can have an avatar, and I hope when you create that, it's a lot better than Rock Band 4 or 3, because those were not good.
I mean, was it better than Xboxes, though?
Like, Rock Band 2 had, like, the peak character customization, even with, like, your instruments, because they had that EA money. Now Harmonix is independent. So for them to partner up with Twitch, that's a pretty big deal for them.
Yeah,
because Twitch also, there was a thing where people are worried about playing certain licensed music on there. So people have made Spotify playlists of music that Twitch will not ban you for. So I think this might open those gates a little more.
I thought the whole thing with that, though, was like you could play that music on a live stream. However, if you on your replay, it would be muted. All your audio would be muted.
Oh, really?
I thought it was something like that. That could have changed since I've heard that, and I wouldn't say I heard about that a couple years ago.
Because if you're monetizing,
yep,
I think that would call for a ban probably. I don't know.
I don't know. I want to say I heard that back in my Hearthstone viewing days, which
I mean
was
that probably
back
happens
in,
too.
Like college, which was like 4 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, like the source we're getting this from is on Kotaku, but there's a part I wanted to highlight. The game supporting duets I thought was interesting.
Yeah, and not just duets, but say the next part.
Using asynchronous multiplayer.
That is really fucking cool.
I think this is, in a way, this kind of reminds me of TikTok, but on a better quality level.
You're not talking about the new TikTok.
Like the app.
Oh, all right.
Because TikTok, you can take another person's video, add your video to it.
Oh, I did not know that. All right. Well,
so
learn something new every day.
That's basically the whole thing of it.
Got it. I always thought it was a Vine, but that's fine.
Yep,
that makes sense. That makes more sense.
It's a collaborative Vine.
Mm-hmm.
But this one user will sing one half of the duet and save it and upload it, and then another player can sing at the other part of the duet and upload that clip later. So you could just have your part, and so many people could probably take that part and add their part with yours, and vice versa. I can see so much trolling with that too happening because it's the internet.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think that's pretty cool. And then what we're just saying, they sing more songs, you get more XP and coins, you can use to level up your profile, buy in-game items for your avatar, just that type of stuff to expect with these kind of games. The game is currently free, but Twitch might add premium items or other microtransactions into the game at a later date, which I can see happening.
I can see songs,
advertisements
cosmetics
of some kind.
Yeah,
too.
or like the free-to-play players are getting blocked by, not blocked, but like having to go through advertisements or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, Twitch is Amazon at the end of the day. So
yes.
there could potentially be a lot of money behind this partnership, which is nice for Harmonix.
I think maybe all the whatever's on Amazon Music might be
And that's
available.
the other thing I was going to say. Because it's Amazon Music is a thing. It's probably not one of the, I mean, it's well known, but it's probably not one of the top rated ones, or maybe that's bad. probably the top used. Used is probably the one I want to say.
And like, I know this isn't that original of a concept or an idea, because I've seen other computer programs and apps where like people are singing together with karaoke. But this one seems the most
polished,
more polished, fluid, put together, because it has that money.
Yep.
And also with Harmonix's background, for those that don't know, started with Guitar Hero, branched away from that, and then did Rock Band, Dance Central. I can't remember if they did SingStar.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know either. That's fine.
I don't remember.
DJ Hero? Nope. Never mind. That was not Harmonix.
Yep, that was whoever did Guitar Hero after the fact. That
was Activision. They took over the Hero franchise, and that's why Harmonix did Rock Band.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's not necessarily a unique idea, but I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah,
I like the fact that Amazon is behind Harmonix. I'm glad Harmonix is still a thing.
I hope they do more than just duets, though. Like, for example, if we're doing like a song that has like maybe 4 people singing or 3 people.
Yeah, like, I can see this going places as well, just like that.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if it's the whole song or just a portion of it.
I don't know. That's one of those things we're gonna have to see it to see. But I don't know. I'm just happy that Harmonix is still doing their thing, because you look.
Yeah, they're evolving.
Didn't like Neversoft do Guitar Hero 3? Who did Guitar Hero 3?
I thought that was.
Why can't I remember?
I thought that was Activision.
Well, Activision's the publisher, but who was the developer?
Oh, they weren't the. I don't think it was Neversoft.
Or they can. Whoever.
Oh, it was.
All right, so Neversoft ended up getting dissolved into helping make Call of Duty games in Activision. I'm happy that Harmonix did not get to that level.
Yeah, they seem to be very true with what they do. It's always going to be music based. It's always going to be,
especially after they tried to like do Rock Band. Was it 4, right?
Yes.
What was it, like a couple years ago? 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's just face it, that probably flopped.
It had a rough start, but as the Rivals expansion happened, they finally brought back the backwards compatibility with previous stuff, which they took them forever to get those licenses, but
I'm sure the game itself is still great and is still a Rock Band, especially like you said, like it took some time to get there. But I'm just saying, like at a sales end, if you don't start that initially, it's tough to like tell your audience or tell an audience that, hey, we got all this stuff, you should buy this game again.
Yeah.
So I don't imagine it did quite as good as they wanted that to do. But it's nice that they're not a Call of Duty developer, or just even worse, not a studio anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, but speaking of developers that are still around despite them not having the publisher that the answer to anymore, Bungie. It was the podcast with Jason Schreier. What's the name of that? Kotaku.
Split Screen?
Yeah, that's the one. Evidently. I'm really unprepared for this story. Try to prepare as best I could. Someone from Bungie said though that they wanted character transfer to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. However, Sony blocked them from doing it. Which,
of course,
looking at Sony's previous track record, makes a lot of fucking sense.
They love saying no.
They do like saying no, and that's even me as a fanboy over here, admitting to it at some points. Some, not all. Admitting to that. Yeah, they like to say no a lot, and it kind of pisses me off. I'm not shocked though. Did I say that wrong?
You were right to a point. They didn't mean between Destiny 1 and 2. They meant enable transfers between consoles.
Oh shit, my bad.
What Dixon wants.
Yes.
But Sony said no.
Well, were they? Well, I guess we'll have to. I didn't listen to the podcast. I'm that person.
Because they wanted to associate Destiny with PlayStation.
Well, of course, because Activision has that, or Activision had that exclusive deal where like first year content or some content was exclusive to Sony for that first year. Most notably, I believe the Thorn in Destiny 1 was one of those weapons back in the day, which the Thorn is one of those weapons that's very synonymous now with Destiny players. So
what could have been?
I think that was like a one-time transfer though, and you probably had to pay for that at the end of the day. So it's not quite the what's that cross-play that not necessarily cross-play, but like cross-save thing that me and Joe want out of that game.
But that's probably the closest you would have had.
It would have been close.
Yeah.
But what's interesting now though is Activision is not behind them doing those deals. Bungie will be in charge of Destiny 3. I'm assuming will be a real thing. So
yeah, I'm curious what they have next in store now that they have this freedom.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it, and I think everyone around the table echoed that feeling, and maybe Joe said, and I just echoed him, that when that divorce happened between Activision and Bungie, it wasn't what's going to happen, like, the next week. It was going to be what happened, like, 8 months from now, when they got the infrastructure in place to support that, and maybe the publishing arm and all that stuff.
Right.
What that game looks like, and I'm excited. I'm still excited to see what they can do with it, especially if they're talking about stuff like this, and they're openly talking about why they couldn't do stuff like that. So.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, second to last story here, and it's not even a story; it's a rumor. But damn it, it's a rumor I kind of want, and I think I kind of believe after playing the nonsense of the story that, well, not nonsense, but the convolution of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. There is a rumor that George R.R. Martin and From Software are working together on a game where George R.R. Martin will be indeed writing the story to that game. Keep in mind, George R.R. Martin still owes the audience of Game of Thrones a couple books.
And just happens to come around the time of the new season.
Yep. We are past the series premiere of the Game of Thrones.
Oh, did you like it?
Probably not. I don't know. I don't even know how I feel about it at this point. I just want it to end. But, it's good that I want it to end because it is. Yep, exactly. But then again, Mr. Robot is ending, and I don't want that to end, so I don't know.
Darn.
I'm not ready to watch an hour and a half episode of Game of Thrones. For 6 weeks in a row. For six weeks in a row, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to do either, so...
We'll get to my feelings about that kind of stuff in the next story. Yeah. How I can change on a dime. But, yeah.
For a From Software game, though, that's...
Look, Sekiro is definitely more like story focused, and not going to. I'm like kind of retracting my words a lot here on this back half here, but they are more caring of a story in that game, and there's definitely like characters that I'm not having the research that I've heard enough times where I know what that character is and that motive maybe.
I think if anything, I could see George being like a somewhat consultant with From when it comes to building lore. Maybe not so much of like a story. Maybe they still want you to explore the land to figure out the story, like they've kind of been. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think he'd be very good with like the fine details of everything and just kind of like stringing all that together.
But the weird thing is that like From is kind of paying attention to detail,
right? So it's like they don't really need anybody else, But I guess it depends on. Maybe it's a Game of Thrones licensed From game. I don't know.
That could be the case, but I
wouldn't want
at
that.
this point. It's too late, right?
I
would have wanted it. That should have been a development 2 years ago.
Then again, there's a Game of Thrones prequel coming, so
there is, and I don't want that one either. So, look, I wouldn't mind them doing this, and I think it would make a lot of sense.
Just like Del Toro and Kojima were making a game. Rip.
Fuck.
That laugh was to cover tears, audience.
Goddamn,
that was not genuine by any means.
Fuck Konami. I don't know. I could see like From Software doing this weird kind of story where I don't know what kind of game. Obviously it's their type of game, but I don't know. But like era it's in. I don't know, it was like a samurai or
That's
a
right. Like
Bloodborne.
we can't assume it's going to be fantasy.
But I can honestly see them doing like this multi-hero selection thing where like your choices impact the life or death of your other characters you can control.
Okay.
And George R. Martin being
I can
like
see that.
helping with that. Like, all right, you want to be ruthless? Well, this is how you do it.
Yeah. Get them when you least expect it.
And right now, all I'm thinking about is just samurai. There's spraying blood across the screen, so it's hard for me to think of another genre. But I could easily see like a Sekiro sequel doing that or whatever.
Yeah, I couldn't even know because From has such like a wide variety with their games. It's hard to really expect anything.
And that's a good thing too, because I mean they have Armored Core, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, now Sekiro. Like they all play that way, but they're so different, and it's
I
weird
never played
way.
Armored Core, and I'm surprised I haven't.
I never really played Armored Core either.
I think I used to get that title mixed with Mech Warrior.
Oh yeah, that can make some sense. I never played Mech Warrior either. I just never was into like that kind of.
Oh, and they have Metal Wolf Chaos.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that. Like I didn't, but I did.
Where the fuck is that?
E3, Sony's E3 specifically.
Great. Looking forward to it.
Speaking about games that might never come out, and I don't think this one's going to come out this year, despite them saying so, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Man, they gave a specific release date, too. Day, month, and year.
Yep. So, what the hell did they call it? Is it Disney Con? Is it Star Wars Con? What is it? I forget what it's called.
I think there was a Star Wars celebration that happened.
That's the name of it. Star Wars Celebration. So we're not going to talk about the Episode 9 news because I've never seen Episode 8. Mr. Dixon over here doesn't care. Mark, did you?
I saw it, but I'm whatever.
Sure.
It's Star Wars.
I'm not going to talk about Episode 9 here, but I am intrigued with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is the game from Respawn, who we all know is the makers of Titanfall and has that awesome Source engine, but is probably being made to use the Frostbite engine, which we all know that's worked for BioWare and other studios. Those that are dead. Who made Battlefield Hardline? It was the one that made Dead Space. I can't remember the developer.
Visceral?
Yep, they're dead. They were forced to do that. That fate.
Yeah, they were fallen.
So there was a couple teases before. So we actually got a story trailer. There was a couple teases the day before the story trailer that pretty much had Jason Zemeckis, I believe is his name, right? I'm not fucking that up too.
Are you talking about the character's name? Or
No, I'm talking about the Respawn founder or co-founder.
Oh.
Oh God, why? I should know this.
Didn't we just say his name earlier?
No, that was Jason West. I'm the other one.
The other Jason.
Maybe that's why I thought it was Jason. Oh God.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
I'm stalling for time because I want to make sure I say this right.
Well, the thing I wanted to point out in that trailer.
Vince Apollo. What the fuck am I thinking of?
I don't know. But, like, I thought I saw a bit of Titanfall essence in that trailer, even though none of it was gameplay. Do you know what part I'm talking about?
No.
There's a part where the main character is running on the wall to reach to a thing.
Oh, God. Yeah, I remember that now.
I was like, oh, man, all right, that's going to be smooth if it's the way I think it is.
Sorry, I'm still looking up who the fuck Jason Zemeckis was.
Were you thinking of Jason Sudeikis?
No, I was not.
Good, because nobody should be.
So whenever I Google search Jason Zemeckis, I get Robert Zemeckis, who is a whiz kid with special effects from the Spielberg camp.
Oh, big dick over there.
I'm killing it over here.
No, not you, him.
No, I'm just I should probably never host an episode of this again.
No, look, I got you.
Anyway, Vince Impala came out and said that there's going to be no microtransactions. It is single player only. It is a Star Wars game that we probably want.
Since Force Unleashed?
Yes.
I mean,
before I played Force Unleashed.
Yeah, I mean that's the last single player game I can think of.
Yeah, what should have been Star Wars, what was it, 16? What was the Bounty Hunter one? Man, I can't think of any names right now.
The one that was canceled?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was like 1666 or something like that?
Yes, something like that.
That was the one we all wanted, but we didn't get that one. But instead, we're getting this one. And, yeah, it's coming November 15th of this year. And then after that reveal, we got a story trailer. And it's pretty much showing off the main character, Cal Kestis.
Mm-hmm.
This is taking place after the events of Revenge of the Sith. It could be taking place a little bit during with some of the scenes I've seen from.
It said shortly after.
Yeah, so for those that have seen Revenge of the Sith, besides Obi-Wan famously saying, "I have the high ground now." If you were listening 20 minutes earlier, the Order 66 was called by the Sith Lord, which was the order for all the clones to turn and kill all the Jedis, including the young kids. So, yeah, it seems like Cal is a Jedi that is trying to survive Order 66, kind of like Obi-Wan was between movies, how he kind of hid out in Tatooine until he met Luke, or until Luke was old enough to train. It seems like Cal's going to try to fight for some of that survival. And then I will give you my comments, and Mark can attest to this because I watched the trailer about 30 minutes ago. When I was watching it about 30 seconds in, I said, quote, "Call me when you have gameplay." And then at the very end, when the title was being revealed, I said, damn, I'm a sucker for that Star Wars music. I kind of want to play it.
It was pretty good music.
But then about a minute in, I was like, man, this is some Avengers-ass shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was showing off more. Like, it felt like I was watching like a straight to video kind of movie, but like with a very good score.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this: the cinematics definitely looked good, but once again, that's why I'm like, call me when you have gameplay.
That was all an Unreal Engine, as they stated.
That was an Unreal?
Yep.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a development here. I kind of want to play this game now that it's not being developed in Frostbite. Yeah, and also the trailer kind of reveals that we might not have the lightsaber that a Jedi should have, at least at the very beginning of the game. Kind of reminds me a lot of both KOTOR games.
It looked like the one he was using is a broken half of a double saber.
Okay.
Because then in the handle, it's all destroyed and like sparked or whatever.
Yep, I noticed that.
So I don't know if that was ever his or maybe his master, like his mentor's weapon. I don't know, but like something about it. I just thought that was a pretty neat thing.
I wouldn't mind. I don't know how this game plays. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be like a action adventure, third person, very linear. I'm thinking very Uncharted-like, just with Star Wars and Force powers and pretty much like the Force Unleashed.
Well, yeah, they said it's going to be very like the combat is going to be a mix between all that. Like it's going to be very like dynamic fighting with mixing of Force powers and acrobatics and stuff.
Yeah, and with that, I don't mind the game not starting you with a lightsaber. I just don't. I can't have half the game not giving you a lightsaber and them trying to build mechanics for both ends of it.
Yeah.
Because when that happens, usually one of them is not going to be good.
I could see you having it from the start, but your skills you have to earn.
That's fine.
I think that because if this is shortly after Order 66 and you're a young Padawan, you don't know everything.
Of course, no one does.
So that's where your skill tree comes in or whatever,
yeah.
And you'll be better at like navigating and platforming, wall running and shit. They've also mentioned pre-order stuff.
Of course they did.
I don't know if you really care about that.
I was going to ignore it, but go ahead now. We mentioned it.
It's just mostly like cosmetic stuff, equipment, like for your lightsaber or your droid companion. If you get the deluxe edition, you get all that stuff as well as behind-the-scenes features and content.
Perfect. Great. Stuff you see at E3 3 years before.
Steelbook, art book, soundtrack, CD. It's what I assume is that's the usual trifecta.
Yep.
of collector's editions.
Yeah, I don't trust EA, but I really do like Respawn. I hope the best for this game. I am kind of excited. I just want to see gameplay, which I'm sure we'll see in June at E3. Oh, wait, hold on. They're not even having a conference either. I didn't mean that ironically. Like I do with
But
Sony.
EA and Sony.
Yeah, well, at least EA is going to be there.
Yeah, they're going to be... Everything's going to be hands-on.
Yeah, they're going to have like a treehouse kind of thing, which I'm not watching. I don't give a fuck.
It could be there.
Because I don't want to see that motherfucker's face, Andrew Wilson.
Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing him.
Something about people with two first names.
I wish he would resign. I'm tired. I'm done with him.
So the
he
game
ruined
still might
Bioware.
be... The game, it could be on Microsoft's. You think?
I mean, it's just EA.
Yeah.
Literally, if anyone else is publishing this game, even Activision, I would have hope for it.
Yeah, I know. It worries me too. I never liked EA. EA and I never got along.
Look, I'm just saying EA sent Titanfall 2 as good. Like, that game was good. And they sent that game out to die.
And they killed Dead Space.
Literally, the developer.
Yep.
It is literally Dead Space now where that developer was. Maybe it's not, but I'm like to think that it's Dead Space now.
It is. Pretty sure it is.
I got nothing else. Do you have anything else?
I do not. No. Dixon?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Still like soup. Confirmed.
It's the best, and chili is part of that equation as well. One more time, Rip Scott Rogowski. And with that, I'm shocked that we went an hour and 50 minutes. I was not looking at that clock. Like, I kind of was, but I kind of wasn't. And I now just realized how long we went. I'm impressed, Mark.
Yeah, man.
We should do this more often. Joe, go. Mr. Dixon, go travel more. We got this. Scott Ryder style. Oh, man. Bad memories. I guess I'll do the thing. Free Cheese Podcast can be found at thefreecheese.com, where we have all of our videos, all that good stuff. You're going to see that there's not a lot of new content because we haven't been recording because of all the traveling between Mark and Joe. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here doing nothing.
It's a weird week.
But to be honest, I'm also forgetting that Twitch is a platform. I've been saying that I want to do Sekiro on Twitch, and I keep forgetting. So that's also my fault as well. I guess you can find all of us on Twitter. Oh, man, here we go. I remember everyone's Twitter?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Let's see.
I'm going to do us first.
Okay.
I can be found at MattyIce131. Mark can be found at aug_mental.
Yep.
Joe can be found at The Free Cheese. The Free Cheese can be found at Some Free Cheese. And you can find FCW at Free Cheese FCW. Let me tell you what, things are getting interesting at the FCW. Just to give you a recap in case you're not following that Twitter account yet. They came out for a show Monday night. And Shao Kahn ended quite quick. He attacked Finn Balor. Finn decided to call the show. Sent fans home angry. Paying fans home angry. No matches happened. No. Nothing. Just 15 minutes in, he called it. And then in response, he said, "Don't blame me. Blame Shao Kahn." What? So as far as I know, like I said, I'm hands off now. I'm not the commissioner anymore. I don't give a shit. But yeah, for all I know, there's going to be another show tonight. Of course, it's a house show. It's not on television anywhere. But I guess keep an eye on that Twitter account to see if it actually happens this time. That is it. Man.
You want to go sniff some blood?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Yeah, let's go do that.
I've been I'm not going to lie. Like an hour and 50 minutes ago when he said about it, I kind of wanted to do it. Yeah, that's it. Bye.
Thanks.
Dixon, got anything? No.
Thanks, listener, for listening.
Yeah, that's something I should say. I should be more polite. Bye.